Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Boom. And today, we're going to find out exactly what are TonePackets. Plus, we're going to take a look at Helium, Strummer, Euclidean, Copperhead and Evolver by 4 Pockets. It's a big one. Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and I hope you are all doing well out there. It is a Monday, Wednesday. What day is it? Who knows? It's that day, whatever day you want it to be. But it's early in the morning. It's very cold, and I've got a runny nose. And I get up every day to do this at 8 a.m. for you. Every day we do a show here on the channel, be it like tutorials, rants, walks with me, live performances, you name it. It's a one-stop shop, hopefully for entertainment. And today may get a little bit people glazed over because we're going to take a look at some documentation and stuff and talk about some stuff with TonePackets, because I know you're all chomping at the bit to know what TonePackets are. I didn't know, but now I know, and yeah, I think this is a game changer. I think it's really important that we have an understanding of what this is, and then once we know what it's all about, we don't have to worry about it again because it just works in the background doing its magic. That's the beauty of the fantastic developers we have out here in iOS and on Macs and desktops that allow us to make great music. Okie dokie, welcome to our Wart Warriors. You can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the join button down below or the link that is provided in the description if you're using iOS. It's $1 a month, it helps the channel, and there's emojis and stuff you can throw around in the chat just for a bit of a hoot. Thank you, Thomas Christ, slinging links as always. Bada boom. The Mix Club is here. What's going on, Mix Club? We've got Gary Hubbs. We've got Thomas Christ, who I already said, he's here for the documentation. Boom. Leela turned a show around that looked like it was going to be a nightmare and turned it into gold. And that's what it's all about. It's about the destination, not the journey. Or is that the other way around? You make it up. I don't really care. Legs is in the house. What's going on? Have I got anyone up top that I need to go and say hello to? I don't think so. I think we're all good. Well done, Leela, for not losing your cool and bringing shit in. If you're watching this on the replay, please hit the like, subscribe, do that kind of stuff. It helps out with the channel and all that, and share it out if you can. It really, that's up to you. Hey, Darren Anderson, what's going on? So you're working on new music. Cool as always, yeah? I love hearing your Ocker accent in a song, Daz. There's the emojis. Look, they're flying all around. All right, let's get into it now. So the first part of this show, we're going to be looking at the documentation and talking about exactly what TonePackets are. And then we're going to get in and see how they've already been implemented in some software and what all this means to you, but what it also means to developers and that going forward. Sorry about that. Had to cough. Let's first do what we do every day and bounce over to the beat community and check out what's going on with new releases or any of this kind of stuff. So Mario Nieto's updated Harmony Bloom with a bunch of new features and fixes. Maybe we'll have a look at this next week. K7D tape delay has had a price drop now. Imaginando are having a big price thing going on, I think, coming up. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that, but they've been making apps for a number of years now, and they're going to have a bit of a party to celebrate. We know Olympian Noise updated patterning, so that's nice. Toybox updated Thump 1, and all those apps just keep getting better and better. Apogee are in the game now. We're looking at this today too, Helium, with its major update. Price drops, K7Ds had one. There you go, down from $3.99 to 99 cents. Bleece has Bleece Slow Machine down a couple of bucks. There's a whole bunch of these tuners, which I don't know. Yeah, I guess, they're tuners, I guess. If you need tuners, Rhino's Amp Sim is on sale for $8.99. BAM's on sale for $24. Cubasis on sale. We'll be talking a little bit about Cubasis today. We've got Saga Synth, a whole bunch of stuff. You can find the link to this app sliced link in the description. You can save it to your favorites, and every time you open it like this, click it, it takes you straight to the price drops only for music apps. So that is there for you to go and save. If you're on an iOS device, you just click up here add it as a favorite, and you'll find it now in your toolbar. Super easy to do. Provide that for you. Now, we're looking at 5 apps today because all 5 of 4Pockets apps have been updated with this brand new TonePackets protocol. The first one is Helium. Helium, $12.99. Copperhead, $14.99. Strummer, $12.99. Euclidean, $12.99. And Evolver FX, $12.99. All of these have been updated with this protocol. We'll have a look at it and see how it all works. Thank you, Thomas. Yes, in the links below are quite a few things today. There's a link to Paul from 4Pockets video that explains TonePackets as well in the description. There's also the documentation that talks about the protocols of TonePackets, which I'm going to show you today. And there's also a link to a video by Zielinski, who has covered some stuff as well regarding TonePackets and Helium. Really good information. Now, if you haven't subbed over there to either Paul or Ed, go and do it, because Paul releases his apps. You get great tutorials and great, it's great to hear from the developer as always. And Ed, right here, this link here, Ed Zielinski puts together some fantastic tutorials that are really outside the box and quite specific. So you'll always watch his video and find something you didn't really know about a particular app, or just a great workaround, or a great way to use something. So very, very interesting videos he has over there, so do that as well. Okay, we're going to jump straight into the documentation and talk about Midi, because that's what this is all about. TonePackets basically are a new protocol for sending Midi. So as you would know, possibly, with Midi, it's been around a long time. It sends on-off notes, and those notes can be manipulated with things like modulation and all that stuff. But basically, Midi is on-off, on-off, on-off. That's Midi in a nutshell. And Midi sends notes out, individual notes, and they take up, like anything with computing, they take up bytes, they take up memory. And so that memory is sent to instruments to generate the sound that the instrument software has provided for you. The Midi creates no sound. It just sends on-off notes and data and information to the instruments to play stuff. So our friend David Collett, friend of the channel, came together with Gregory Riker a short while ago, and they decided there has to be a better way to send clusters of notes out to instruments that will save on, be a faster, much better, smoother experience, especially for things like chords and scales and such. So let's have a look at, so this is the paper. So that now they've already been some apps that have taken this on and applied this. One of those is an app here called Just Chords. This was the first app to take on this new protocol, which is very cool. So I've had this app for ages. I didn't even know I already had this app for ages. And now Paul from 4Pockets jumped on board and said, you know what, I like this. I think it's fantastic. And I'm going to implement this across a bunch of my apps, and that's what we're going to show you today. So the objectives here of this paper we have in front of us now, as I said, all this documentation is down below, is to define a compact representation of note clusters. Note clusters may represent chords, scales, or any arbitrary collection of notes. A note cluster is sent via Midi sysx as part of a TonePacket. Now you probably see this word here, sysx. Sysx is a standard that has been inside of Midi for a really long time, and a lot of people, a lot of developers already use this protocol of sysx. Of this, it's a packet that contains data that can be unpacked within the software that it's receiving or sending. Now, I'm going to be terrible at explaining this. I'm not a developer. I just have. I actually had a phone call with David Collett, and have tried my best to understand this, go through all the papers and stuff. I find this very interesting. Do most musicians need to know all this? Absolutely not. But it's going to work in the background and make life smoother. So the reason of this is to create a reference implementations for demonstrated cases, blah, blah, blah. The background. So here we go. Let's read this out. Midi is awesome. We know that is. It's been remarkable, resilient during its 40 years of existence. Hasn't changed too much, has it? It does what it does well. With the evolution of computer-based music making where apps and plugins are surrogates for human input, algorithmic creation of MIDI events to make music has become commonplace. There exists a class of apps which listen to incoming MIDI to generate related output. For this discussion, we're focusing on those which use chord recognition preset scales specifically within the domain of iOS, although the intent is for the protocol to be usable in any MIDI context. So consider something like Strummer, which we'll look at today. An iOS guitar simulation app, Strummer features chord recognition mode, which listens to incoming MIDI, analyzes the chord, then plays an arpeggiated pattern with the recognized chord in guitar voicing, where iBassist does a very similar thing as well. Each of these smart accompaniment apps require receiving MIDI notes ahead of the beat. All right, so especially when you're working with arpeggios right now, anyone who's used an arpeggio and held down notes on a keyboard, right? Sometimes you hold down 3 notes and then you hold down 3 notes for the next chord. And if you land those notes slightly different, that arpeggio can change and not be exactly how you want. Well, this protocol sets out to send the data ahead slightly. So you'll get a more consistent arpeggio, plus we're saving in memory with efficiency, which we'll get to in a moment. Hi, Al Davis Music, good to see you. Okay, let's continue. So consider, where were we? It's extremely inefficient sometimes and ambiguous to depend on chord recognition and communication between apps. We've all had it before. You're trying to put in an arpeggio, some kind of thing like that, and it's not playing right. The notes are just not happening right. There's like a lag kind of thing, and they're missing. So this is to help that instance. Consider any iOS app using scales to filter or limit output notes. Every scale selecting app has a different method for selecting scales. Some use CCs, AUV parameters, or UI interactions, or a combination. So so this is a protocol after all. So for apps that are performing chord recognition or applying scales, why not simply share tonal metadata in a compact, standardized form? So the benefits of this is really something we're not going to see, right? It's going to be working in the background. The benefits of this, the primary benefit of TonePackets, is to provide fast, efficient, and unambiguous method for sharing chord and scale information between music apps in real time. So this is essentially for us just to be able to get on and make music with as minimal problems as possible. It's a standard. SysX has existed, as I said, within MIDI for ages. It's just taking advantage of this. So, where was I down here? The protocol simplifies internal code requirements for receiving apps by offering compact. TonePackets will enable musicians and developers to communicate any combination of up to 24 notes for an unlimited palette of chords, scales, and note clusters. Okay, so let's continue on. TonePackets, there we go. With a range of music apps supporting the TonePacket protocol as senders and receivers, we hope to create a new accompaniment possibilities for intelligent music creation. SysX, system exclusive. You see, Russ knows what he's talking about. This stuff has been around a long time. Now, let's break it down. So just looking here, when you send, something sends a note to an instrument, it's sending these bytes. It's sending these on off, pieces of data. And what the TonePackets essentially does is it takes a collection of information and squashes it down into a piece of data that is made up of 8 bytes. Yeah, 8 bytes. So really small, but full of information, as you heard, up to 24 notes or information, stuff like that. And you can see here how it's broken down. So with each packet, each tone packet that is sent to an instrument, you have a header, which takes up a byte, the metadata, and in here, you've got length of notes, on, off, version, the metadata, content type, rootless voicing, root notes, octaves, slash notes, the identify index, another byte in there. index into standardized chord or scale tables naming a note cluster. So you can start to understand that this has, let's scroll down a little bit further down here. You can see in these, so it's all broken up here in the paper. Hey, David, what's going on? I know it sounds more difficult than what it really is, doesn't it? But so, and what's in this paper, everything's been broken down per byte, yeah, of each tone packet. So in the header, you can see what's going on here, notes on and off. You've got the packets version, the length of notes, and in our second section, which is broken up into 2 bytes, you can see in here chord cluster content, rootless voicing, the root note, the octave, slash chord note, so that's your bass note. You can add a bass note in there or not to your chord. So really, really clever stuff, right? And ultimately, the thing is to remember about this is you don't need to know all of this information as a musician. It's all about how efficient this is going to make you as a musician, and hopefully developers jump on and are able to implement this very simply, because our friend at TonePackets, Paul, has taken all of this information that has been created by our friend David Collett and Gregory Riker and created a system to compile this into your apps really, really easy. Hello, Cubase. Apple? Yeah? There's already a few that are using this. So this is available, and AUM's using this great Loopy Pro as well. So Loopy Pro already has SysX in their code, so able to do this as well. Cubase does not do this. Apple, how are you going to get Apple to do it? Well, they should get on it. You know, it's Apple. They're the largest thing. It's going to make things easier. There's that. Now, I know there's a lot of developers here in this community that I think would benefit from this. Chemol K, are you out there, my friend? Matthew Fetcher, Audio Kit Pro. There's a lot of opportunity to implement this into their systems as well. So we can see as we continue down here, each section is broken up into our bytes, which gives us our 8-byte file, you know. So down here, the note cluster and inversions. We've got major chords, all the note clusters, combination of notes, octaves, all this kind of stuff. And you can go ahead and read all this. Of course, I'm not going to bore everybody and go through all of this stuff. But what I will do is just scooch over here to our facts here. Why doesn't TonePackets include arpeggios or strums? Well, this is the thing. Most apps have arpeggiators and stuff like that in there. This is trying to send the data to those arpeggios, if not on the beat or ahead of time. So we get a consistent arpeggio and stuff. I don't need to read this out. I think I know enough about what I'm talking about there. So this is a question I saw asked somewhere else as well. Why only 2 octaves? So there's 2 octaves within it. TonePackets contain either chord scales or clusters of notes. In developing included list of chords and scales, we realized that any chord or scale can be defined within 2 octaves. True. A receiver app may decide to extend the tonal range of the packet by replicating notes splitting across a keyboard. So the advantages, as you've probably heard, I've already told you the advantages. This is a faster, easier protocol to be. It's an easy protocol to be implemented, and it's just going to make making music, like as a musician, let's just cut through the shit. I'm not talking as a developer. It's going to make things that run in the background smoother for somebody making music. And that's all you want. You don't want things getting in the way while you're making music. I'm starting to do Donald Trump hands. What's going on? Do all DAWs support Midi processors? So let's talk about this. To create the most compact, efficient representation, TonePackets sends and receives its data using SysX messages. However, even though SysX has been a part of Midi standard for years, and it is easy to support, some DAWs, such as Cubase, Logic Pro for iPad, currently do not. Others, such as Helium, AUM, Loopy Pro, already support SysX. So it's already out there, you know. My hands are normal sized. Hey. Midi 2.0 offers advanced capabilities that may eliminate the need for the use of SysX communicate TonePackets efficiently. However, Midi 2.2 is still at early stages. You know, So, anticipation, which we'll have a look at. Apps using chord recognition need some processing time to convert the incoming chord and accompaniment. TonePackets provide a protocol for an app to efficiently receive a chord without needing to analyze the notes and wait to make sure they've all arrived. I think that pretty much sums it up, yeah? This is a streamlining process, and I'll just finish with this. A properly implemented tone packet receiver can respond in real time to packets received on the beat. An example would be Helium sending a chord to Strummer, Evolver, Euclidean. Paul Barnard from 4Pockets has generously provided a template of C++ code that can be added easily to any AUv3 and able to respond in real time. So let's get out of the reading and let's see how it all kind of works, yeah, with what Paul's done. So it sounds good, yeah, and it works. And I encourage, hopefully, some developers out there who see this and see Paul's video. Let's see how we can go implementing this in. G'day, Pete. You've come to the right show today. It's absolute nerd central. And g'day, Mars. I don't think I said hi to you, or Tremor Bear. G'day. All right. So I have a project here. Of course, I have a project open. There we go. Look at this. And I have Helium running to control all of this. And you can see straight away when we open up Helium, look down the bottom. This is the new section here in Helium. These are some chords. We have a new chord lane down here, which has these new chords, and we're sending these out as tone packets to a bunch of instruments, and they're all here. Now, not only can you send this stuff out, this new section in Helium, to Paul's apps, but you can send them to regular apps as well. So let's just hit play. I'll shut up for a second. Hello, Brad. What's going on? And we'll see how this sounds. So I've got Helium running into a Synthmaster 2, into a Strummer, Copperhead, Evolver. Then we've got a Euclidean over here, which is sending data out to, what have we got? We've got Animogue, we've got Piano Tech, Spelldozer, Nerd Synth, we've got a patterning drums on the end. And also this Helium with the tone packets is sending information to Euclidean as well. All right, so I've talked enough. Let's play what we've got here. I whipped this up in only about 15 minutes, so it's not Mozart. So but just relax, it'll all be good. Trust me. I say trust me, and then I realise that I don't have my interface connected. Jesus Christ. Uh-oh. What's going on? What's happened? Oh, I've got these soloed. That's why. Let's start that again. Dickhead. All right. See, nothing's perfect. Let's go. got off to a little shaky start there because I forgot to shut down AUM before I started. Let's clear this out and show you. Firstly, we're going to go through the updates to Helium, which this can all be generated from. Hello, Abe the band. What's going on? So we're going to open up Helium first, and we open up Helium as a MIDI controller. Now, why is Helium so good? Helium was invented to fill the gap, right, where things like AUM don't have a piano roll, and that's what Helium does. It provides a piano roll and the ability to, you know, make, hey, Mr. Smith, what's going on? Good to see, I didn't see you sneak in there. Boom. So you can see this is Helium. Now, AUM is a fantastic app, but it just doesn't have a thing called a piano roll, and this does this perfectly. Sean Chandler, g'day. And I've done shows on Helium in the past, so we're not going to cover all of how Helium works, but we're going to take a look at some of the new things in here. The first thing I want to talk about with Helium before I add any instruments to this is there have been some minor updates to the way we use copy paste, and it is important to understand this stuff. So I can select edit up here and draw notes in wherever I want. So, you know, this is your standard piano editor, piano roll, whatever you want to call it. I say I can draw in notes wherever I want. Let's just move this one over here. In fact, let's get rid of that one. And we'll draw one in here. So now the copy paste feature has changed a little bit. The thing to do is hit your select button if you want to copy paste and drag. And you'll see now we've got this little box that comes across. Now take notice up the top. Watch as at the top of the timeline, as I drag across here, can you see that white line that's coming across with the selection? That's brand new. This is this little white line that lets you know what you're selecting. Now, once I let go, that white line up the top here stays there. So you can see what you actually have selected, not only by the color of what you have selected, but by this white line. Very cool. And now you can go in here to something like our clipboard, and I can hit copy from here, move the marker, and go ahead and hit paste. And it's pasted in. You see it adds the little white line across the top as well, so you can see what else it's done. Now, you may not have noticed this, but this is very small but very, very good. And not enough copy-paste in piano rolls do this. If you'll notice, the first section here doesn't have a note. And when I copied this in, it copied it exactly the same way, missing that first note. You've probably had the experience before where you've copied a bunch of notes, pasted them in, and it's just ignored that there was no space there at the beginning. Super, super powerful. I don't know why it's taken this long, but let's undo that because now we've still got this selected. If I click off, it's not selected, and you'll notice that white line's gone. So let's draw across again. And the little white line. What you can also do now is just click on here and hit duplicate and duplicate and duplicate and duplicate. And you have all of... Now, what you'll also see this white line is still there. If I hit play now and just sync this, you'll notice we've got our timeline moving across the notes here, but we still have our white line available showing us where our next copy is. So while we're playing, we can go in here and do another duplicate. Can I do another duplicate while we're playing? I don't think I can. Oh, it's because I clicked off. Is that right? But you can go ahead and do that as well. So a lot easier copy-paste ability. So that's the first thing that's really important that's been added in here. Let's just grab all of these notes and delete them. Goodbye. Thank you, au revoir, farewell. I'm going to load up an instrument now, and we're going to start looking at these tone packets. We're going to start off with Strummer. Boom, like that. Now, down the bottom here, the first thing I want to show you when we're talking about tone packets, very important stuff. Pay attention to this. But before we do that, we have reached our halfway point of the show where we run an ad. Oh, yes, we do, because our YouTube overlords command us to do so. If you would like to avoid the ad, just become a YouTube Premium subscriber or just skip past the ad. We'll wait for you to come back. The ad has been run. While we're waiting, let me tell you what is happening over the next coming days on the channel. for those who may have received an ad in that process there, we are taking a look at tomorrow, brand new from our friends at Aurora DSP, Drive Through Bass. It is a pretty, really powerful, awesome guitar effect rack. It's just, it's got all you need in it. Really nice. It's very cool. We'll take a look at that tomorrow. And coming up at the end of Thursday, as we normally do, we have an interview this week. It is the Creator Rewind series sponsored by DistroKid, and we're bringing these Brummy lads back. The Indigo Sunsets, we're going to talk about where they've been for the last couple of years, what they've been doing, and about their new album that they released recently. Ouch. Oh, and guess what? I forgot to tell you, there's something coming up next week that we'll be covering. WWDC is happening next week, so it'll be, I think it's not this, it's a day before this day next week. So that is happening. What will Apple announce? Probably something underwhelming. Let's be real. If you've been doing this as long as I have, it's going to be underwhelming. All right, let's get back over here. So the most important thing you want to set up when you are sending tone packets using this new chord feature down here is we want to go up to our menu and look for chord mode options. Just do it every time. Go up and you want to turn on chord enable mode. Click it, it's on. And underneath here we have another thing called chord anticipation. Whoops, I turned that off. Now we have MIDI note to track and MIDI tone packets. I just suggest going into both of these and turning the default on. So actually when you open it, the default is off, but you want both of these on. And you'll notice when I go to this little screen here, not only do you have off and default on, but you'll see with both of these, we have this section that says quarter, eighth, and 16th. Now this is for you using anticipation. And if you have it, like say a quarter selected, it will mean it's on, but it will start sending the tone packets, the chords that you're creating in here, a quarter faster before it actually hits the notes. And I'll show you that in action, hopefully. So just turn them on. Just make them, you want to see them sitting at default, and you want to see this section here set to chord enable. And you're good, you're ready to go. You're ready to start messing about with tone packets. How do we find the tone packets? How do we bring up the section at the bottom here? So there have also been some other additions, some fixes with Helium 2 while we're down here. The mixers had some improvements with it. So now you can actually scroll across. See how when I drag across, it's muting a whole bunch of tracks together. So if I hold down, see how they're all lighting up there? So you can unmute and mute all together, but just by dragging, and this works with the mute and also with the solo. So another, just a simple little easy thing. Plus, this is nice too. If you move this over here and then get rid of it, the next time you open it, it's still going to be over there. Instead of just opening in the middle and covering your, you might want to put this right out the way, bring it up when you need to. So just a nice little feature there just to make things, you know, just helps with moving along and making your music. So let's close that out. So down here is our controller. Now, when you click on this normally, you are given a track down the bottom here, and this is where you can do things like velocities. You've got all this stuff down here, like velocities, pitch bends, and you can do all your modulation and draw in stuff, you know what I mean? So you got velocity, you can come in here and draw in velocities and all that. If I hit, we've got edit, well, you can do all that stuff, right? We're not going to be covering all of that too much today. Paul's released some good stuff on it. We're trying to focus on tone packets. But we can go in here now, because I've got to have notes actually drawn in here to be able to mess with them. Let's just do that. Let's draw in some notes like so. But you can see here's our velocities. Yeah, so you can go in here and change these. All that kind of hit select, right? So you can change all the velocities. This is your little track down here. Let's just get rid of these notes. Goodbye. Edit. Yoink. I'm making a meal of this. Come on. Go away. So, but we're focusing on these chord tracks. So if I hold, now anything with 4Pockets apps, you may know by now, if there's a little triangle, little chevron in the corner there, that means there's a hidden layer underneath. So all you need to do to access it is hold down and you get this option here. So these are controller mode for all our velocities and all that stuff. We've got a song mode that's in here, but now you'll find chord mode. If we click on this, now we have chord mode. The main thing to do next is to make sure you have this add chord selected, and from here in, you can just start drawing in chords. So let's start from, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Start from our fifth here. And just, all you do is hold and drag. That's it. And look at that. There's our first chord. And I can, from here, add another chord and another chord. And you can move these around and stretch them out as long as you want as well. So we can make sure they're all lined up. Let's just zoom a little bit. Get some zoomage here. And you can start putting in your chords. So they've got little handles here that you can expand on. And they snap to grid, so you've got your grid for them to snap to. And we can start drawing in these chords. Let's scroll across. Let's just put 4 of them in here. We'll draw another one, and you can see they've all just logged in at a C major. What am I doing? I'm not even making full chords here, am I? Go over there, you can go over there. And you can just move them around. Super easy. Let's get this there. So there you go. Should we put them all together? Let's just line them all up. And I've got my door sunk here, so when I hit play, we can see this going along. Now, there's going to be no sound that comes out of them, right? Because they're not sending any data anywhere. Are they? No, they're not. They're not sending anything anywhere. And we need to connect them up to something. So let's do that now. In fact, before we go, I'm losing my brain here. Along here, if we tap on this, here's where you can select your chord. Now, there are so many chords, it's crazy. Look at all these chords you can select. I've got it selected at major at the moment. And then if you hold down on each of these, a screen pops up where you are able to decide what the chord is. So, of course, you can go in and choose a C. You've got all your notes there, your root note. You can go in and say a major or a minor. Totally up to you. All the chords are available to you in each of these. Let's just keep a major. Then we can go into our next one. What am I doing? I need to make these all a bit bigger anyway. But you can see how easy it is to move these around. Now, what happens is too, when you click on them, you'll see the note changes in our little panel that's up here. Let's just move these out. Give them a stretch. So you can see I've clicked on this one now and it's gone back to the C. So really easy to control them. I can go in here and change this to a G. We can go into this one and change it to an F if we want. And we can come in here to this other one down here. And so really easy to change these all out and have whatever chords you seek. Okay, there we go. So we've got some chords there. Now you have options too. You've got, as I said, you've got your select chord. You have inversions up here as well. Now, none of these inversions, if I choose an inversion, like an inversion 2, they won't show up here. They won't actually change here, but they are an inversion, trust me. You can also add a slash note. So if you wanted to add so this is, what note are we on here? We're on this, this is a G. So you might want to go and add a slash note of a B or whatever you want. It will add that there, but it won't add it in here. So you won't see a representation of it. Now, once you've added a slash note, you need to click rooted. So now it is rooted to that F note. So we can turn off a slash note. You've got the octave you can choose, the velocity, and you have divisions as well. So you can select the number of chord divisions for each chord that you make. Now, you can also come in here and you can draw notes in. you can add your own notes. And you'll notice up here, this changed. So let's just go back to chord. So now when it's in chord, it actually holds the chord. But once I come in here and make a change to this, it becomes a cluster. Okay, so you can go in and you can make whatever you want. That's easy as pie. To clear it, if you've made a whole bunch of extra notes in here, just pop up here and change this out to a chord, and it'll go back to your chord. So let's end this one on an E minor or something. I don't know. There we go. So there's our selection of chords ready to go. Again, if I hit play, it's not going to do anything because we're not sending the data to an instrument as yet. Oops, let's just draw in a loop there. So there we go. We're playing this and nothing's coming out. So for most apps, it's pretty much the same way, especially Paul's apps, to connect this to an instrument. Strummer's a little bit different because it's a guitar, and Euclidean has an extra step kind of thing. But for pretty much everything, this works the same, yeah? So as you'd know with apps, you need to send this data, you need to send these MIDI notes somewhere else, don't you? Now you notice here in Helium, we've got this new thing here. So we've always had these port 1, 2, 3, 4, but now we have port this control out. So these are how you send your tone packets. And I'm going to send this out to Strummer. So now this is connected to Strummer. So let's talk about Strummer, the steps you need to take to actually have this connected. So here's our Strummer. And I have here an input. Haven't really ever used this before, but within this input, you'll see down the bottom it says piano to guitar control. Control, whenever you see control in here, this is tone packets, yeah? So I'm going to change this to piano to guitar, which is going to let Strummer know that we're coming from piano notes and we want to make this a guitar, and I'm going to host sync, make sure everything is host sunk. So this is host sunk, and now if I hit play, we're off to the races. Easy as pie. And this is sending our wonderful tone packets, saving on processing power, and we're getting these chords. Something that I really like, which is a thing that is hard to do with sending normal chords and stuff, something like scalar. You can't kind of do this. I can take, say, this section here and take it back a bit. Let's just pinch a little bit in here. I can take this back to about there, and I can take this one as well. Let's just pull this one back a bit, and I'm creating a stop. I really love this. So if I play this back now, nice. How good is that? So you've really got so much more control over the chords you're sending out. Let's bring this one out a little bit. Now this is great for piano. You might want to cut off that last note of there. It is very, very cool. Very cool. But something else, and why I talked about it at the start of the show, Ed Zielinski, and there's a link down to the video in the description. There's other things. There's so many things you can do in Helium as it is too. If you go up here, you can, if I go over to our grid, you can add things like grid layouts. And if you check out Ed's video, he's gone in and added a custom layout that you can add in here. So if I click custom layouts now, you'll see a Strummer control. If I load this in here, Ed's gone ahead and made this and offered this out for free. This is a wonderful little control section here. So not only can we go in and make these chords down the bottom, remember, we still have the ability up here to send out MIDI notes. Yeah? Which is great. And the tracks now in Helium have been simplified a lot too. So you can see we've got 16 tracks and each of these have a port. If I hold down on this, we get this little bar here that tells you which channel each track is going out to. And you can even decide here if you want to do the ahead of time chord tracks in here individually for each track. Super neat. We've got this going out to channel 1 and bus 1 at the moment, so that's cool. All right, so what we need to do now is I'm going to go in here and send out Helium 1 port 1 also to Strummer. So this and this amazing little thing that Ed's made here allows you to add something like 12 strings. So I could zoom in here, right? And we could take this section here and draw a note in, drag this out over here, and what will happen is it will trigger the 12 string over here in Strummer, this little 12 string button. So, you know, Ed's gone ahead and mapped out all the cool things in here. So even this, so see this EB, these are different patterns. So if I choose B, pattern B here, we're going to stick on A. But now if we come back over to Helium and look for variation B, we can now add variation B, make sure I'm on the right line, draw this in, and now that'll switch the variation of the strumming. So let's have a listen and see if this has worked, if I've set it up right. Hey, Robert. Wow! All right, so let's go in and choose variation C for this last one. See how powerful this is with the chords down the bottom and being able to draw in notes. Let me just pinch and draw in this. What have we got? Variation C here. Very, 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 very cool. We're going to get that in there. And this will change the third strumming to this third pattern here, yeah? So we've got A, B, C. So these are on-off notes, essentially. We're adding these on-off notes, as well as sending these tone packets through. Let's hit play. Now, you'll notice we've gone back to playing, it's still playing B. So we need to make sure that variation A is drawn in here at the start. We want to go to our pencil. Just make sure variation A is in there. So when we start it, it's all going to be good. Let's have a listen. Oh, I don't know why that didn't pick. Is it because of? Oh, I know why. Variation C doesn't have one. Look. Let's stop that. I got to put something in variation C, don't I? Let's choose that one. Dickhead. I had nothing in it. That's why we got nothing there, right? I didn't. Let's try that one more time. Hey, Jerry Gomes. It is very cool, man. TonePackets is a game changer. So before we move on from this, you can see this wonderful thing that Ed Zielinski has made. The link's down below. It'll show you how to load it in here. And you can see you've got palm mutes and all this kind of stuff. Look at it all. It's D strings. He's gone to a lot of trouble to map this out for us to use. So go and support Ed Zielinski. Give him a like and a subscribe. Go check out the video. It's in the description. So there's our guitar. That's all done. Ready to go. Let's take a look at sending this stuff out to other apps, shall we? Probably a few things I may have missed, but we'll come back. So as I said, this is working with 5 4 Pockets apps. The next one we'll load up will be... let's see. Let's load in. Let's do Copperhead. So this is Paul's synth, and we'll show you how to set this up. Obviously, we're going to go into Helium, and we want to send our control out. Remember, control out for TonePackets, and we're going to send this out to Copperhead. So that should be connected and ready to go. And all we need to do is select a patch. So let's, I don't know, find maybe some keys in here or something. Just select one. I don't know what it's going to sound like. There we go. Beautiful. Super efficient. God, what else is on the list? Copperhead, Evolver, Strummer. Get it through your head. Let's load in Evolver. Now, you know what? I thought I'd done a show on Evolver, and I still haven't. So, Paul, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and aim to do it in the next week or so. Evolver is a really sick app. It's got a little bit of a learning curve, but it's absolutely worth your time, and I can't believe I haven't done a show on it. So let's go down to our control out, and we'll send this out to Evolver. Now, what's cool about Evolver is it has 4 lanes going on here, so you can create these amazing sequences of ARPs and a whole mixture of stuff. It's just really cool. Let's just load one, let's load a performance in here. Ball breaker. I don't know, choir pads? Maybe not that one. Let's try something that maybe has an ARP or something in it. What do you got? We'll try this one. And again, this doesn't need anything else. It just needs to send the chord packets, the tone packets over. And there we go. And it's going to change chords. Super duper panooper, awesome stuff. But can you send it to apps that aren't accepting chord packets? Well, you can do it as well, but it's not going to be tone packets. Why am I saying chord packets? Tone packets, idiot. But can you? Yes, you can do it as well. So let's load up something like just a Synthmaster 2. That's nice and easy. We'll just leave it on the section. Now, it's a little bit different if we're sending this out. So remember in the beginning, I told you up here to go up and in the menu, select in our chord mode option, chord anticipation, and turn on this Midi note track 1. This allows you to send this stuff out to Synthmaster, yeah? So this is how you're going to do that. So and again, it has the same options off, and you can send the nodes in advance. So you need this one to be able to send it to apps that don't do this. So make sure I'm doing all this right. I think we have it soloed. And now you notice what's going on here. What's happening? Did I set that up right? I think I hit the wrong one, didn't I? I sent control out, didn't I? Let's go over here. Now you notice when I do that, we're not getting anything happening. But if I come over here and send this out, via port 1. Is that working? Why is this not working? Have I done something stupid? Oh, do I actually have anything selected in here? I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something shit. See, I thought I was going along all good, but I've not. Is it because I have this? No, we're good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I set that up right the first time. Anyway, but you'll notice what I did here was instead of sending the chord, here we go. Instead of sending the, like I said earlier, which should have worked the first time I did it, instead of sending chord out, we're sending port 1 out, yeah? So we're sending this out to here. I'm just going to go in. Let's check this out. Let's just solo. So there's our chords going out. So you can send these chords from Helium into apps that are currently not accepting TonePackets. And if we bring it all in together now, so pretty fucking rad. All right, let's talk about Euclidean. That's going to be our last one that we're going to send this to, and then we can get out of here for the day. So Euclidean's a little bit different. Euclidean doesn't create sounds. It is, again, it sends out Midi data. So we're going to load in Euclidean here. I'm going to need to add some instruments to this. So here we've got Euclidean, and we're going to go in and just add 4 audio sources, because this has the ability to send out to 4 instruments. Let's just load some instruments up. I'll probably use the ones I used last. I don't know. Like we'll use Nerd Synth again. We'll go in here and we'll use Spelldozer, nice and easy. Piano Tech, the ones I did from how we opened the show today. We've got Piano Tech, and let's just load in Animoog. So we've got 4 instruments there ready to go. Just go into Nerd Synth and randomly choose something. Some dub chords, that'll do. Now, let's go into Helium and set this up. So, Euclidean, sorry. Firstly, with Euclidean, we need to send this out to individual ports. So, port 2, port 3, and port 4. So, this will send to each individual instrument. Over here, we have our Euclideans out. Euclideans out, I like that. And we're going to do number 1 to Nerd Synth. We're going to do number 2 to Spelldozer. We're going to go to number 3 and send that to Piano Tech. And we'll send number 4 out to Animoog. And they are all set up. Now all we need to do is come in here to each track and add some events. Let's go into the next one, and I know we'll change the steps a little bit. Some events in there. We'll add our third. In fact, let's just do a randomize. Why not? There's our randomize, and it's put a whole bunch of notes in here as well. So we've got a nice little randomize that's happened. We need to set the host sync, and most importantly, down here, we need to turn this on. What does this do? This turns on Midi chord recognition. So you would normally use this if you were inputting chords into Euclidean, right? But this allows us to take input from Helium and our TonePackets. So how do we do that? Well, we need to go over to Helium and now send our chord control out to Euclidean. And let's just solo this Nerd Synth and see what happens. Hey. And you'll see the chords here will change. See how they're changing? Let's shrink this a bit. And you can see over here, Helium. Our chords are changing straight away. So let's bring in the rest of these instruments now. Pretty fucking dope. And now we can start bringing in the rest of this stuff over here. The guitar. Okay, the last thing I want to do is we're just going to unsolo all these, and I want to show you the anticipation stuff, which is really handy for, as I said in the beginning, using with arpeggiators. I'm not going to go into all of it. We've run out of time. I've kind of already gone over, but let's take a look at, I don't know, something like a Copperhead here. So we'll solo this one out, and we're going to go in to our menu up here and change the chord options with chord anticipation, and we're going to change our tone packets to an eighth ahead. So watch what happens when I unloop this, and we'll go all the way back to the start. And I'll just turn on the metronome. So we've got a counter in here. And pay attention to where our playhead is to how the chords actually play. See how that started before? Right, now, as I said in the beginning, why is this really good? Because if you have an app that has an arpeggio attached to it, for example, let's go over here and use NerdSynth, which NerdSynth has, I've got to remember, where's the fucking arpeggiator? I've forgotten where it is. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. Fucking hell. Where's he put it? It's been a while. It's not there. I've forgotten where the fucking arpeggiator is. Pro pads. It's somewhere. Oh man, here it is. ARP. Here's our ARP. So we've got an ARP now attached to this. This is going to be handy with pre-sending these chords out. So the arpeggiator actually plays in time. So it's actually, you're getting all the notes perfectly. Let's find another sound here. But you'll notice, let's bring it back here. Oops. Why is the arpeggiator going? I don't know. Oh, it's because it's probably not a good example, but you get what I mean. It's stop, Mr. Arpeggiator. God, turn that on. Oh, that's why. Because it's sorry, it's not going to work because we're sending notes from Euclidean. What am I doing? Anyway. Anything that's got an arpeggiator in it, it sends the notes ahead. Look, it's better. You get the point of why. Hopefully you understand why that look ahead is there. For look, most cases you're not going to need that. You're absolutely not going to need that. Just go into your chord mode options and just make sure anticipation is at default. For nearly everything, it's going to be fine. I know, right, Thomas? Oh, you know what I'm saying. The other thing I want to talk about, so you can go in here with your chords. Let's just, oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's undo, bring that back. So to access your chords again, just hold down and you have access to all of these. Again, we can go in and add inversions. Let's add some inversions in here quickly. Go into this one and add a 7. Yeah, why not? In this one, we'll add a slash note, shall we? What are we going to see? I don't care. There we go. Turn on our rooted. Oh, the other thing too, if you want to hear a note, you'll notice there's a little play button up here. So you can have a listen to it. Until you let it go. The other thing too, I'll quickly cover, which I did forget. I'm sure there's other things I've forgotten, but hopefully you get the gist of all this. In something like Copperhead, you can go in here and with these new TonePackets, you can go up to settings and down the bottom, you'll see this TonePackets mode. You can change this from chords to bass. So if we just solo this now, let's just solo Copperhead. So you notice now it's not playing the chords. Really good for bass. I'm just going to turn on the loop here. Let's grab a bass sound. What else we got? A moist bass. Are we looping? Yes, we're looping. Maybe a slap. There we go. So you can go in here and change, and you've got 3 options. You can go into your settings and change this to, it's currently in chord mode. We can go to bass mode, or we can go into, let this do its thing, or we can go into sub bass mode, yeah, which will take it down an octave. So there you go. You can do all that. So that's another additional thing that is in Copperhead. Nice. I know, I got to say it. I said the word moist. Sue me. So I think you'll agree, yeah, it's pretty damn cool. These TonePackets things that you've just found out about now, and hopefully I've done a fairly good explanation. Look, definitely this is something that really should be implemented. This is, so again, if you are a developer and you're watching this, there are links down below. Email address to get in contact with TonePackets to get involved and see how you can do it. There's another video from Paul down below. There also is the zip file containing all of the information which I showed you at the start, all of the documentation. Here, it's down below. And I'll be reaching out to a few other people in this, developers in this community. Hopefully we get some more people involved in this and we can get this off the ground because it just makes sense. It's going to be running in the background. And already, as you can see, Paul from 4Pockets, you know, is always been very innovative here in this community. He, look, I'm sure I see it all the time. Some people don't like his UI or whatever it is, but the one thing you can say 100% with Paul, incredibly talented developer, incredibly resilient with all the stuff he's going through with radiotherapy and stuff, and still doing this great stuff for us. But he is a staple of the iOS development community, and he's always ahead of the curve, yeah? So hopefully other developers see this. Audio Kit, man, this would be fantastic inside of Audio Kit. Chemol K, as I said. Cubasis, are you listening? Yes, let's get this implemented. As you can see, it's already working in AUM, working in Loopy Pro. The more we can get this in, the better. All these updates are available now if you own these apps. As I said at the beginning, just go and update your apps. The prices, we'll run through them one more time. Helium, $12.99. Copperhead, $14.99. Strummer, $12.99. Euclidean, $12.99. And Evolver, which I will try my hardest to get to. Getting it, finally a show out about this. It's a little bit complex, but trust me, this is a killer app. All right, I want to thank for today's show my good friend David Collett, who was very kind enough to have a phone call with me and explain a little bit more so I understood, because I'm not a developer, right? I'm just trying to convey what I think of this. So I love David. He's a really dear friend of mine, and thank you, David, for spending the time. Great work, you and Gregory coming together to put this together. Fantastic, Paul, putting this all together and getting the ball rolling for this. I think it's a winner, and there you go. Any questions? There's an email down below. Go and check out Paul Ed's video, the documentation. It's all there for you. We are going to hit the road and play today's featured artist. He's a fantastic musician by the name of James Timms. I've had him on the show. Yeah, good luck getting Apple to implement this. Yeah. Come on, hey, Apple, are you listening? Pete Johns, can you talk to Apple for us? And I'm sure I've forgotten something in there, but look, I'm not perfect either. So let's go. This is James Timms. He's a fantastic artist. He's just dropped a brand new track, as he does drop many tracks all the time. This one's called Keeping Me Crazy. Sick voice, sick musician. There's a pinned comment if you want to go and subscribe to him and check him out, yeah? And I'll see you tomorrow when we take a look at Drive Through Sorbase by Aurora DSP for some metal guitar, man. Metal guitar! We got a lot of metal guitar apps coming up in the next few weeks too. There's a lot of metal coming up. Alrighty, let's do it. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. This is James Timms, Keeping Me Crazy. Boom to the boom. Let's oja.
Oh, I know I look great. my brain. I know I regret